Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of What If Civilization Started Over. Except this time, it isn't really What If Civilization Started Over. Instead, we are doing a scenario for 100 subscriber special where we give every single country in the world a nuke. So that means that Red, you'll have a bunch of nukes. Rome, you'll have a bunch of nukes. Even baby little Gambia over here will have a bunch of nukes. Mind you, this is like 1850s that we're in right now, so prepare for some chaos, I guess. But first we're going to have to just give every country some nukes. So let's figure out how we're going to do this. I think I'm just going to give every country like 30 nukes and then we'll go from there. So let's see. Okay, I think I have given every single country a nuke. Yeah, I believe every country has a nuke, and ooh, you're gonna have to pull your troops out of there. There we go. Okay, and quick disclaimer: all of these are tactical nukes because I don't think it's gonna be too much fun if they, aren't tactical nukes. But with this, you can really see how much colonies there are because like all the stuff that doesn't have nukes are just colonies. Anyway, our first war will break out between green and red. I think that's pretty logical. Red is going to declare war on green. And, well, let's see how they use these nukes. So if we turn on the major cities and the major military bases and the base of operations, we can see all the stuff that Red might aim to hit. So where will Red go for first? They could go for some major cities. Oh, straight for the capital. Okay, that's a nice start, I guess. Well, where's Green gonna hit? Seems they hit right in between all three of these major cities and the capital. Now Red's gonna hit this major city and this one and this one, and just like that, we've already used 6 nukes in this war. That's kind of crazy. And just like that, these nukes are now dwindling down, and Red is going to start moving their troops in. Red takes their troops and moves on in, taking over this major city, and then moving into this base of operations right here. They also branch out and grab this major city, which has been nuked, but there's still survivors and stuff. Then they pull off an encirclement right here, which ends the life of all these soldiers, and then they move on out to capture this major city, and then split the country in two once again. Then they move on up and grab both of these major military bases, and it's not looking too good for Green right now. They have a third encirclement, third in total, and now they have a fourth in total. It's not looking too good for Green. They cut off another part of the country, and really not looking good for Green. This encirclement right here, that gets dwindled out, and they start pushing into this encirclement. However, they are fighting back pretty well. Green pushes back up north here, and they grab the base of operations, and that doesn't go too well for Red, as they're able to now reach into here. However, Red takes over this land here and this land right there, and then they continue pushing into Green, take back that base of operations, and then they make another push right through here. They also get their ally, I mean, not really ally, but like close friend of Cyan to join the war, who then pushes into Green, grabbing this stuff. And, well, Green's gonna send off a few more nukes. The first nuke goes straight for the capital right here, and the second nuke goes right in between, in the, like, area of all this stuff here. And, that's not good. So now they're at 26 nukes, and now, their capital is nuked, and also, their troops right here, they get, like, dwindled down, they're gone. So now there's a massive hole in here, and Green is going to use that to their advantage to make a big gap here. They also take back this major, what is this called? Base of operations, but Red continues pushing back, this time into this radiated zone, and then they grab the base of operations back. And it's finally time that Green surrenders, and let's take a look at this peace treaty. And in the end, Red takes over all of this land, which is, in fact, a lot of land from Green, and, well, it's not looking too good for anyone now, because the first nuclear war has occurred, and it didn't end so well for either country. Their capitals were nuked. But Red is going to make a second push into Orange, and we're going to disregard the defensive pact that they have with Rome, because I don't really care. This is a scenario episode. What we can take out of this is that if Red had nukes, they would go on an all-out killing spree, which is good that no one has nukes, especially not Red. But they push all the way into here, and they make one giant grab over here, encircling troops in this, also capturing a major military base. And then they start gathering up their troops, which allows for, on the sides, Orange to push back, grabbing back three major cities. But that came at a cost of Red being able to form this spearhead all the way up to the capital. And they grabbed 2 major cities in the process and the capital. That's not good. He'll grab the third major city and start sieging the next one, but also spear out to grab this thing and split the country into three pieces. Sieging and gathering all of this here, and then finally grabbing this right here. And it's at this point that the country capitulates and they surrender. And in the peace treaty, there was Red takes over all of it, and no one ended up using any nukes. Let's go, guys. And then all of a sudden, we see a nuke flying in from the sky onto Red's capital, or like the region of Red's capital. Now, is this just one nuke? Of course not. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 nukes come in and hit Red's capital. Where exactly did this come from? Well, they were wait, hold on, I'm slow. Three nukes came from both India and Rome, and that is where they got. What the heck is this? Well, that's not good, because that means that they're now both at war. Rome is going to push at Red, and it's not going to go too well. They're going to form a massive spearhead going all the way, sweeping through this northern area. However, they are getting held back right now. And after just a little bit of this happens, they start getting pushed back by Red. However, over here on the front with India starts pushing in greatly at first. They gather up all this stuff and then also land over here in the UAE. However, once Red ends up breaking through this little thing right here, it all falls apart. India gets pushed back right here, and this entire front dies out, which is followed by the UAE front dying out. And then Red starts pushing in to India. Now, I know this isn't too realistic. It's obviously not. And then once that happens, Red pushes back against India. And then Big Daddy India pushes into Red with a size 20 brush. That's how many troops they're pouring into here. They're pouring in a big portion of their military, and they end up getting to the Mesopotamian areas, which is already being a big threat to the capital. And now they are sweeping through this big portion of people here in this area, and it's not going too good for Red. With all of this happening up in the north, Rome is able to start pushing back against Red too. They capture Cyprus, which is landing grounds to land in Mesopotamia Lime. I know that isn't a country anymore, but I'm still going to refer to them as a region. And now they are forming a giant spearhead going to Red. That's not good. They also split this entire area off, and now they are encircling it. And now, both India and Rome are going into Red's capital, going to attack it, and there's absolutely nothing Red can do but just watch as their capital is taken by these foes, and eventually they'll have to surrender over to them, just like that, ending this country. And, well, we're just going to keep them occupied because I don't want to do this peace treaty, especially for this war, and also they're done for this episode, so that's nice. Next up, Russia. You're going to go and attack. You're going to attack Rome. Yeah, that's right. Russia is going to move into Rome. Russia is going to start moving into Rome, and as Rome pushes them back, they are going to decide to drop some nukes. I'm realizing now that Red would have probably dropped nukes before they got taken over, but it's fine because they knew they would get taken over, and that's why they didn't drop nukes. You see? I'm so smart. They also probably would have, fired back nukes when they got nuked. Whatever, it's fine. Oh, this entire nuke supply is going to be split amongst these two, so let me do that really quickly. So, as you can tell, a lot of nukes are dropped. You drop 4 and you drop 3. Your 3 nukes hit the capital of major city and your base of operations, Ukraine. And then Ukraine, you drop 4 nukes, 1 hitting the capital, and then the rest hitting, like, the, major cities around the capital, like the metropolitan area. And that's kind of their call for help, I guess. That's the last thing they're going to do in this war, except for get taken over and annexed. So, honestly, I don't even have to show the rest of this war because this is what it looks like in the end. Kind of sad for Ukraine. Sorry, Ukraine fans, if at this time Russia had nukes and Ukraine had the same amount of nukes, Russia would win. So Russia is now massive, absolutely massive, and let's figure out what we're gonna do next. America is going to declare its independence, and now we have a free America. Oh God, this is like the WICSO, like Ada's pros. America. You're gonna be like this dark blue kind of, I think. Oh yeah, that looks good. So you have a bunch of nukes to use. We're gonna give you 100 nukes. No, I'm kidding. We're gonna give you 20 nukes because you kind of joined late, so it's not too fair to others. Yeah. So that's about it. Okay, here we are, America. What are you going to do? Oh, you're gonna invade Venezuela? That's not too nice. Why are we invading Venezuela? You want to take their leader? Why do you want to take their leader? Oh, because they're a dictator. Oh, you're freeing the people of Venezuela. I see. I see. So Trump, the leader of America, is going to move into Venezuela and attack the capital, and then they're going to branch out and take over all this other stuff, and then that right there. And once that happens, it's kind of done for, I guess. There's not really much else they could do. They grab this major city, and then this major city, and this major military base. They branch out here, grab that, encircle this here, take over that. Make another landing right here, make another extension right there, make another extension right there. And as you can see, they'll surrender just a little bit later. And, well, obviously, I don't know what they would do after that. Maybe they would just, I think they would just sink into the ocean. That's right, Venezuela sinks into the ocean, and now there's a whole new bay to play in right here. I wonder how this orange country right here might use the Atlantic to their advantage. Oh, you're gonna what? Oh my gosh. Orange here is going to empty out their supply of nukes. And they're not emptying it out in like a peaceful way. They're emptying it out on a country. So we could say goodbye to these nukes right here. But where exactly do those 30 nukes land? Well, this orange country, this country of refugees, is going to send out their navy, and it's going to go out like this. So they're going to land right here in these islands right here over in this thing. And then they're going to stage it, what they're going to do. And if you could see, like, what countries right here, 30 nukes are going to drop down in the country of Gambia. That's not too good for you. So how's this gonna look? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and then 13 right there. And then there's gonna be a few more areas where they can drop nukes. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and finally 30 is going to miss, and it's going to land in the water, and it's going to hit some sea orcas or something like that. But as you can see, Gambia is non-existent, and they were hit so bad that they do something that has only been seen one time before. They sink into the ocean. With the amount of radiation in this area, they're gonna just sink into the ocean because there's what else are they meant to do? So now we have two countries that have sunk into the ocean. I wonder what else might happen. United States, are you feeling a little bit Netherlandsy? Over here, Cornwall is going to do the opposite of sink into the ocean. They're going to create a lot of land just out of thin air, and they're going to take it all over. With all of this new land, it's surely going to drain out in areas, so is there going to be anywhere else that wants to sink into the ocean? Spain sure does. They sink into whatever the heck this is, and they also, in the process, lose half of their nukes. So now they have 15 nukes. And where else is going to be hit? Well, the entirety of Ireland is gone. Iceland disappears. Newfoundland disappears. The entirety of Canada will sink into the ocean, and of course, with that, we will also see the sinking of Alaska. So, just like that, Canada's gone. And Lake Superior gets upgraded to Ocean Superior, I guess. And then, same with Huron. You get upgraded to Ocean Huron. Same with Ontario here. It seems you guys are all getting updated. Oh wait, this should not exist. Oh, what are you doing here? Toronto, whatever this thing is. Lake Ontario and Lake Erie both get upgraded to Ocean Ontario and Ocean Erie. Seems that the only one that isn't getting a fair little gain here is Lake Michigan, who still is a lake. That's why, in my opinion, you should be connected to Canada. I mean, Canada is like, Canada, but like, whatever. So, now we have no more Canada and a giant Cornwall. Anyone else want to sink into the ocean before the video ends? No? Okay. This is turning it into less of a nuking video and more of a weird stuff happens to the world video. But, Australia, you declare independence from your leader of whatever. Who's leading you? I can't even remember. China. So, you're going to declare independence and then also simultaneously flip upside down. That isn't too good for you. But of course, with you flipping upside down, that's going to hurt whatever country this is a little bit. And a lot of you will sink into the ocean. And now New Zealand is now missing its southern half, and it's really just North New Zealand. So that's cool. As you can see, there have been a lot of map changes in this episode. I wonder what else might happen. Maybe a land bridge will form between Antarctica and South America. How will it form, though? Well, obviously, what happened here is South America stretched out its bottom half to reach into Antarctica, which was then colonized by the Irish. Oh, wait, the Irish have sunk into the ocean. Oh my. Who will take over what they've done? Cornwall invades into every single one of the Irish colonies and takes over absolutely everything. And now Cornwall is definitely one of the biggest countries, or the biggest country in the world, because I'm pretty sure Ireland was already the biggest country in the world, but now, Cornwall's very, very big. So the world being scared of Cornwall is going to form a coalition of the entire world against Cornwall, and everyone's supply of nuclear weapons will be dropped onto Cornwall. Now I know that before I said that they were only tactical nukes. Well, not in this scenario, because in this scenario, these are all absolutely massive nukes, which will drop everywhere in Cornwall, landing all over this new continent that they somehow formed. This looks like Italy just upside down. So everyone is going to nuke everything inside of Cornwall, including the American claims, and then also in South America, and also in the very stretched South America. And then they will move into Antarctica and do all of that. But then, with the final remaining nukes, they will combine them all into one mega nuke, or I guess a few mega nukes, which will drop on each one of Cornwall's colonies, but beware, it will accidentally hit a few, outsiders. So here we go. First nuke. Oh, dear God. Second nuke. Oh my gosh. Third nuke will hit right here, but obviously we have Antarctica, and that's pretty big, so it's going to have to drop 3 times. So in a total, we've so far dropped 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mega nukes, and oh, don't forget about you right there. There goes all of Africa. This actually somehow got changed. I guess we're going to have to nuke it too. So there goes Oceania, and then Australia was being weird because it just somehow flipped upside down, so why don't we nuke that too? There's probably some relations to Cornwall over here, so that gets nuked, and then the only place left in the world is the Siberian Union. So did the Siberian Union technically win this, whatever scenario because they're the only country left? No, because they also get nuked because they have a close color to Cornwall. Here you see, look at it. So Cornwall is like this kind of greenish color, and then Siberian Union is this greenish color. So obviously they will get nuked too. And with that, the entire world is now nuked. So what are we gonna do now? Well, out of embarrassment, the entire world will sink into the ocean. Are we ready, boys? 3, 2, 1. Boom! It all disappears. Whoa, look at that. That's absolutely sick. That's amazing. Wow. This is so cool. I can see, like, the outline of everything. Okay, my bad. I'm getting off track. The entire world has sunk into the ocean, and now this is all that remains. A very slim outline of the world, it seems. Seems everyone likes the coastline, and definitely Mesopotamia over here, but it's very, very cool seeing this. I've never done this before. This is amazing. There's nothing up here. This is Svalbard right here. Anyway, sorry. The entire world has been nuked, and, with that, the world is now gone. How sad. But that's the end of our video. And just that way we have something to look at, I'm going to bring the world back. Thank you guys so much.